Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. Thank you for joining our Daily Gratitude Call today. Looking forward to what we get to discover. Our focus today is creativity in creation. I tried underlining like all the different times that people use the word creative in some form. And I mean, I probably got about 20 underlines. So definitely today we are going to be focusing on creativity and creation. And so I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds. And we're going to do a private silent meditation on gratitude for creativity in creation. And we'll see what comes up. So 90-second private silent meditation, gratitude for creativity in creation. Just write down whatever comes to you. Begin. All right. I had a couple of specific instances come to mind, experiences come to mind that really illustrate this idea of creativity and creation. I've been helping my daughter make a dress over the past week. And so everything's been here, and she's just been coming over and spending several hours a day to be able to get this dress done that she wants to wear for Christmas dinner at her boyfriend's parents' house, and she's also going to wear it to our Christmas Eve dinner that we do traditionally every year. And we just finished it last night, and the sleeves were giving us a little bit of a fit. She has really thin arms, and the sleeve of the pattern was really large, and she wanted it, to be more form-fitting. And I hadn't had experience with taking a sleeve in a way that looked like it was really meant to be that way. I mean, we could have just like made the seam smaller, but we pinned it, and had her try it on, and there was this gap in the back, and it just looked weird. So we tried, thinking creatively of ways that we could do that. And it was amazing to me how many ways there was probably at least 5 different ways that we could have done it. But we just felt like, there's just got to be a better way kind of thing. And her boyfriend's mom is also a seamstress, and she does a lot of tailoring. And so we actually brought the dress, and we went over to her house and had Talia put it on, and she suggested something, and we both were able to see it right in the moment. And we kind of like held it up, and we're like, and it just was like this moment of inspiration. And we had thought of something that was similar, but the way that she suggested it was like, yes, this is so perfect. And I'm going to see if she'll take a picture of the close-up. I've got a picture of the, the finished dress, but I'm going to have her take a picture of a close-up of the sleeve because she took it home last night. And so I can post that on the Breakthrough with Gratitude group. It just, it took that third person's perspective and somebody who was really skilled at making changes and having it look tailored, having it look perfect. Like this is exactly, it's like we planned it this way. And I'll just stop there. I just am really grateful for that third person perspective of somebody, especially that's really skilled in something that I'm trying to do. Melissa.
I love that. I love the third person perspective because it kind of goes what I'm saying. So my gratitude this morning was for creating magic. And we have just had the most fun Christmas season with my kids. We've looked at lights. We've made gingerbread houses. We've watched all the Christmas movies. And we're so excited for Christmas. And it was interesting because a friend of mine on Facebook posted that it doesn't even feel like Christmas to her. And it just dawned on me like how much we create the magic of Christmas and of anything in our lives, anything that's fun and exciting and, whatever emotion we want to experience in our lives, we have to create it first in our thoughts. And I'm actively searching for anything we can do to make Christmas more magical. And it's happening, it's working. And I just think about how I've already experienced Christmas morning in my mind, and it's going to be so magical. And I'm going to ensure that actually, I manifest that because I've already created it in my mind.
Wow. I think that's such a powerful, to have that creation in your mind and manifest it. And you're having such a different experience than other people are because you are creating it. You're creating it. And think about, years from now, how your kids are going to look back on 2020. And, because we know that a lot of the belief system and the decisions that we make about ourselves and even what we take on as our identity is related to the environment, the experiences that we go through, and things that feel traumatic or feel, like, oh, that was not a big deal. And how much more wonderful of an experience your kids are going to have years from now as they look back on 2020 because of the magic you're creating. So beautiful. Thank you. Robert. Actually, hold on just one second, Robert. I just need to add one last thing. This is just like really nagging at me to share how important it is that we come together with these people who don't know how. That was my really big thing after the masterclass last Thursday. I had this huge epiphany. I was like, let's do 2021 together. We here on the Gratitude Call have such an amazing experience. And with all the communities that I have, the Lord's Way to Wealth, the Architecture of Life, all of you guys are having such a wonderful experience. And I know it's because we are coming together with this magic of creation, like you're mentioning, Melissa. And I just want everybody to do 2021 together. And that's my mantra for this year, inviting other people in. Thanks, Robert. What would you like to share?
You bet. So the first thing that came to my mind was, and I had to look it up to get the exact details, but in 1972, the Carpenters, who sung the song On Top of the World, is on top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I have found ever since you've been around. Your love puts me on top of the world. I won't sing the rest of that because I don't know the song enough, but
it was such a beautiful message.
It really is. And that's what I wanted to share.
Awesome. Thank you. Would you find a video of that, like a YouTube video of that, and share it in the Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude? I love the message of that song. Thank you.
I did post the words I read, but I will, there is a YouTube video and I will post that as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Robert.
You're very welcome.
Colleen and then Melinda.
This comes together in so many different ways. I hope I can fit it all in real quick, but my dad had some real bad shoulder problems, and because of his arthritis and other things, his shoulders shrunk down so that he wanted me to modify all of his shirts. And I said, Dad, just let me sew them from the beginning, because if I try to modify it, it's almost worse than starting from scratch. So, how that goes. His shoulders shrunk so much that the sleeves would hang way down over his hands. And, just to modify a shirt, it was so complicated. And even just to adjust a pattern, everything is affecting each other. And I think about farming and how difficult people find it. And it's so much easier to find a different job and to not spend the time and effort to learn such a complicated skill that everybody needs, that can be manufactured by a large corporation. But I really think there becomes an appreciation for the process, and I think people have become so stepped away from that. And in the process of every creation, my daughters decided, because I was sitting there, I don't know if I want to do animals anymore. I want them to stay out of my garden. I don't, and so they worked with my nephew, and for my birthday, they designed a chicken coop, rabbit pen, movable thing that I could still keep them on the ground. And it just is amazing to me, all of the creativity. And my daughters, can identify the problem and say, well, let's work on a solution. And it's just an amazing thing as they see identify the problem, and they know that I love my animals. So, it's just such an amazing thing to come together. And like you said, doing things together, identifying and problem solving, and just always staying on the solution end of it. And sometimes it is good to just take it right down, so the very nitty gritty of everything.
Awesome. Thank you. I've had that experience too, where I've been presented with the idea of modifying something, and you get started on it and it's like, you know what, it's just going to be better to start from scratch. And I love it that we have that ability to be able to make that choice. And rather than just like pushing it through and saying, oh, I'm going to make this work, that there is the choice of just letting that one go and just finding one that fits. And I know I've done that as I've gotten more clear on my purpose and my mission and the way that I serve people. There's a lot of things that I've completely let go of. In fact, this morning I had a dream last night, and I thought, and this morning I woke up and I'm like, I'm not speaking on anybody else's stage. From now on, I want to be able to speak what I want, how long I want. I want the right people to be in the audience. And it's just one of those things that I don't want to modify my speech anymore. It's just easier and more beneficial to everyone, myself, God, the people that are listening to me, to be able to speak loud and clear exactly what I want to say and when I want to say it and how long I want to speak and what I want to speak on and all of that. And I'm just like, that was a choice that I made today. It's like, I'm not speaking on anybody else's stages. I might, accept an invitation to like a podcast to be able to talk about my stuff.
Yeah.
I might, do that. I am going to be doing that in January with Rachel and her podcast that she does. That's like a kind of like a book club talking about my book, and I'm okay with that. So I love that. Thank you so much, Colleen. That's so freeing.
I feel like that, especially with you, I feel like, man, the connections, and I love it when you have your own deal. I do, because anybody else that has a say, it can be a little bit taken away, but it is, just, I love your creations. That's what I want.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well being with me. It's fun to create, and it really it makes it worthwhile to create when you have people that appreciate that. So thank you. Melissa, did you have something else, or is your hand just still raised?
No, sorry, I'll take it down.
Okay, thank you. Melinda?
Yes, so along that line with what Colleen was saying, I thought about when I oil paint. There was this one time I was oil painting with my mother, and I usually paint during my birthday, like I told you guys last month, and it's also Thanksgiving week. So there was like a lot of people coming in and out of this painting room that day because we were all together a few years ago. And I remember my painting just got really gray. Wileen, you oil paint, and it was just like everything was blurring together. Mm-hmm. And I was just in tears. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. And I was like, maybe I just make my whole canvas white again. And my mom just said, just calm down a minute. Let's just find some definition here. And so with what Colleen was saying, the thought that came to my mind is when it goes gray, it sometimes goes gray before the define and distinction happens. But before that, what I was going to share was an experience I had in kindergarten that I just still remember so vividly today. When the teacher gave us, a paper and marker, and just told us all we were to do was to put our marker on the paper and then let our hand move with the music that she played in the background. And it was like one of my most favorite experiences that I had in school, of just like moving to the music and then seeing what our papers created in the end. And it was just really fun.
What a smart teacher. I was thinking, going as you're talking, this subject, creativity and creation. My daughter, my whole family are artists. So all three of my girls and my husband and me. And I had grandma who was an artist, and Clint's mom was an artist. So we just have that running through our veins. And one time I can't think, it was like second or third grade, my oldest daughter was in class, and the teacher told the class to draw shapes and to gradually increase them in size across the paper. So do a shape really tiny on the left side of the paper, and then gradually increase that shape size across the paper, so that by the time you got over to the far right side of the paper, the shape was really huge. So same shape, just gradating in size. And she drew the shape of a snail. So she actually drew a snail, and then she gradually increased that all the way across the paper. And she got all done and was turning it in, and the teacher rejected it. And she said, "That's not a shape." And her meaning, the teacher's meaning, was to draw a geometric shape, like a square, a triangle. But apparently she didn't clarify that. And anyway, my daughter came home and was just in tears when she was telling me about it. And she even brought the paper home. And I looked at it and I said, well, whatever your teacher says, that is a shape. And I actually went in and talked to the principal about it. And to me, that is like the ultimate in creativity, to be able to give just a little bit of instruction and to allow that creativity to flow. And I think I could get on my soapbox about that, because creation is all about creativity. It's all about how many millions of options, limitless options we have to create something in a way that is perfect for you as an individual. And I'm sure you can hear that passion in my voice. I'll stop there. Thanks for sharing that, Melinda. Let's see, we had Betsy, and then—
Can I add?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I add on that what you said real quick?
Yes.
It just reminds me of this semester that I just had, that I had an instructor that wanted that we had an assignment. And so my assignment, I just went all out on it, like above and beyond. And I had to actually redo this project 3 times to simplify it down to where she wanted. She's like, wait, I don't want all that. I want this. So I tried again and she's like, nope, still too much. I want this. And like going back to that shape and like finding that foundation that she wanted. But it was like, I see the process of it, but it was like, why couldn't that creation be okay? You know, but a foundation is important, I guess, too. But something that came to my mind when you were talking also was just the world right now. I just wanted to share this real quick, like how things seemed gray, like my painting, and it's and now how things are just becoming more distinct. Like you talked about 2021 together. It's like the light is being even more bright and the dark is being even more dark. And it's like just finding that distinction in the world, how it's the creation, where it's going right now.
Yes. And I have to add one little piece to this, and then we'll go on to Betsy and then Mary. I know you have something as well. Melinda, and you probably already know this because you are an artist, but when you put 2 complementary colors together, if you mix them together, it makes gray. So if you take green and red in equal portions, that color becomes gray. But if you put them side by side, they brighten each other. So I've used that principle in my paintings. If I'm feeling like something's a little bit gray, I bring over another color that is equally as bright and put it right next to that color, and it will brighten it up. And so you don't even have to add white. You know, you don't have to, there's just tricks that you can do. And I feel like this is just really applicable, especially we talked last week about how we add God's light into our souls and our colors just immediately brighten. And bringing another person side by side with you that has an equally bright color on the opposite end of the spectrum. So if you're depressed, to find an equally impressed, uppressed, whatever the opposite of depressed is, to bring another person that's equally on the opposite side of the spectrum to complement you. And just how powerful that can be to bring in someone that has an equally bright color on the opposite side to brighten you. Okay, Betsy, and then Mary, and then we'll move over to our permission process.
Yeah, thank you. The creativity and creation is so beautiful. And I have my Christmas tree by the front window where I can see it all the time, all day long, throughout the day when I'm walking around the house or different places. And people from outside can see it. And so the lights have been on 24/7 since I put it up. And I played Christmas music, and there was such a joy in creating the tree. And even though I might use the same tree every year, the same decorations every year, the same lights, it's different every single year. And there's such a joy in placing each ornament and remembering those ornaments. I have antique family ornaments, and there's such a flow in the creation, but the joy is what I created. The joy is my wanting to do it, my choosing to put on Christmas music, my choosing to sing along, to move in the boxes, to do the hard work of maybe untangling the lights, but then the joy in sitting back and appreciating that beautiful creation. And it's really, I mean, I love what Melissa said, creating magic. It's a choice. And it's really easy when it's inspired. There's such a flow to it. And I love water and I love flow. And I started thinking about the flow of a creek or a river. And if we had the desire to change the flow or use some of the water maybe to water a garden, if we were to try to dam the creek, there would be awkwardness. It would be hard. The water would go around the rocks and it would be a fight. But if we were to dig lower than the creek and allow gravity and the natural flow of it to, let it go into a trench, it would be a beautiful, natural, a new path could be built and created.
Wow.
And I was reminded of a beautiful talk from Joseph B. Workland that's called Come What May and Love It. And it's all about the things that happen in our lives and that these things flow for a reason. And sometimes we create them, and sometimes we create how we react. And I had a young man ask me, how do I live in joy? And I'm so excited to align and answer his beautiful response. And so yeah, the creativity and it's about flow as well.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. I love that idea of just making it easy for abundance to flow to us. Just create a channel instead of like feeling like we have to hoard all the water, create a dam and just like, make it overflow its banks and create chaos. That we can just create a channel that allows the natural flow to just come our way. That's such a beautiful visual. I'm just like so excited about that. Thank you. Mary.
Okay, so I was just really grateful for the ability to be creative in creating my craft. And my craft. So like you have your example of sewing the sleeve, it's the ability to be creative in creating my craft and my craft.
Grateful for your craft.
Yes. Just because others are doing the same thing, it's okay for me to do it because mine will be different. It's unique when everyone's is unique. I have often said, well, I can't do that. Somebody else is already doing that. Or I can't do that because she's doing that. But I can do that, whatever it is, because it's different. It will be different. It will occur differently. The energy from it will be different. The timing is different. And even if somebody's doing paint by numbers instead of, free painting, freestyle, the paint by numbers won't be exactly the same. Even though they're a pattern, like it's like an exact, this goes here and that goes there. It'll still be different.
Totally. And that is, I love how you've just put a name to that. Creativity in creation is my craft. When I say my craft, it might be the exact same pattern, the exact same fabric even, that somebody else is using, but it's my craft when I put my creativity in it. I love that. Thank you. Jana.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, I got this bigger picture when we were thinking about the creation of things. I just felt this buzz from the Lord, like this real excitement over time culminating to it, coming to a close as we know it. I mean, time is moving forward and changing and, preparing for the Lord's return actually is where it led me. And this picture I got as we keep talking with the magic and what Mary's talking about, individual creation, it's like we get to help prepare the party and be directly involved in welcoming the Holy Spirit to perform and heal and draw people to him. And this excitement was amazing. It gave this picture of like, of course he's excited, of course, and he wants us, we get to be a part of that. And it's like we each get to help with whatever our talents are, whether it's putting up streamers or the food that's prepared, the music, the decor, all these things, and the vast amount of everybody's particular unique way of doing it it's like there's not too much music, there's not too many flower arrangements, not it's like it's like all over the world. It was just so beautiful. And it's like so we get to step into that excitement. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing that. I have felt that for quite some time now, that when we are living in our purpose, that's exactly what we're doing, is we're preparing the world for Christ to come. And I just am so grateful that Christians, no matter what the denomination, that there is this belief that Christ will come and that all of us will be living under his rule, and how much more, how together everyone will be, how much more one we will feel at that time. But we can create that feeling of oneness right now as we come together in that preparation. It's just like what Melissa was talking about, envisioning right now, Christmas morning, and manifesting it. It's envisioning right now that moment when he steps into the planet, onto Earth, and everything is healed, and just envisioning that right now and creating those magical moments right now. Thank you. And with that, let's go ahead and just take a deep breath and just allow yourself to step into the creativity in whatever it is that you're creating, in this ultimate creation that all Christians are coming together in, and the creative way that you individually get to serve. And it's like what Betsy was saying, where she's turning her lights on her Christmas tree, not just for her own enjoyment and her own benefit, but so that the whole world can see. Anybody that's walking by her window can see that light. And that whatever we're creating for our own pleasure, for our own desires, our own coming together with God's will, and creating that light that we're developing within our own world, that it's for others too, and that they can see it just as brightly. And it's just like that commitment that I made this morning. I want my light to shine as brightly as possible. And I just want the whole world as my stage. I don't have to be on somebody else's stage and have them put my parameters, gray down my light, my colors. I get to just stand and find ways to share God's message in the way that is perfect for me, the creative ways that he's going to manifest for me. I know with this new idea of just, shouting from the rooftops, my message that comes to me through God, or that comes through me from God, that he's going to prepare the way for that. And I'm open for whatever that creative way is. There's a new way. And so I invite you right now to just be aware of you and your place and the creativity that you get to bring to your creations, and even this huge creation, the purpose of God, and how your creativity or how your creation gets to be a part of it, and the creativity that gets to be brought into it, so that it is your craft, it is your way. And just go ahead and take another deep breath and listen for any limiting beliefs that might be coming up as you see yourself and feel yourself stepping more fully into this creativity in your creation, and how that fits into God's bigger creation, how you're serving the world. Just allow yourself to expand your creation to fill the whole earth. Take one more deep breath. And listening for that limiting belief. And if you've got one, go ahead and write that down, and just also notice the cost that is associated with that limiting belief. And if you don't like that cost, you can make a different choice. You can choose to bring in some new beliefs that will allow you to be more expanded, to allow your creativity to be more expanded, allow God to use you in a more expanded way. And if you're ready to choose some of those new beliefs, give yourself permission to choose those new beliefs. Say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. So go ahead and choose 2 or 3 new beliefs that will allow your imagination to be expanded, your creativity be expanded, your ability to see how God can use you more expanded in a way that will help prepare the world for Christ's return, and also to be able to create more magic in the world, so that whatever 2021 brings, that the world feels the magic of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and of God's love. What are your new beliefs? And while you're writing those new beliefs down, I just want to read what Mary wrote in the chat. This is a quote by Henry Ward Beecher. "The sun does not shine for a few trees and flowers, but for the wide world's joy." And that really anchors in these ideas that we're thinking that we're not creating just for our own light, that we are creating for others, for the world, the whole wide world, to feel joy. And Mary, I invite you to post that in the Breakthrough with Gratitude group. So writing those new beliefs, and then coming back to that space of creativity, and knowing that these new beliefs will expand you, will expand your ability to be creative, it will expand your ability to create, to manifest that magic in your life, and also shining out for the whole wide world, to feel joy, to have a magical next 2 weeks of 2020, and also moving into 2021. And final question, what is the one most important thing you could do today that will expand your creativity and really allow you to step fully into these new beliefs? What's the most important thing? What's your inspired shortcut today to expanding your creativity in your creations and stepping fully into your new beliefs? Just listen for inspiration to give you that inspired shortcut, that next step. All right. We are at the end of our time, so we won't have time to share today after for the after shares that we usually do. But I do encourage you to go to our Breakthrough with Gratitude group and share there. I had the thought of a song that I'm going to share as well. We Need a Little Christmas. I don't know if you guys know that one. It's an old one. But I'm going to share that as well, because that is definitely what we need. And any time during the year, we could bring a little Christmas into our lives. So I'm so grateful for you being on here today, on our call today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Looking forward to having a wonderful Christmas week, and we'll be here tomorrow, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So thank you so much for joining us. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.